Years I have been associated with Whitefield and this church. It's a very big part of myself. This church was built in 1886. It used to be called the Bauer and Gage Memorial Church initially. My children have been christened here. My sister-in-law was married in this church. You know, all our whole family, my mum's funeral was here, my dad's funeral was here. So it's just, you know, all our family have been associated from 1956. It's a long time. And I've seen it grown from a dry area to greenery now. It is the oldest church in this area. Whitefield was a village. Today it is you would call a suburb of Bangalore. Kept the church as original as it could be. We have not knocked it down. The walls are still the same, lime and plaster, but we've had to do the upkeep of it. So it is definitely a focal point of Whitefield. There was a gentleman called Mr. Greenham who overseered the making of this church. When they were going to consecrate, they discovered that the altar had been placed wrong. So that was where the initial doors were. Shifted the altar to where it is. But then it was consecrated in 1886, and the club next door was initially supposed to be the parsonage for this, or vicarage for this. And the visiting priest would stay there. But Mr. Greenham lived there, and his wife said that their one room in the club would always be there for visiting clergy. And they would come in on a Saturday, do the service, stay over, and then go back, because there were no bus services. They would take a train. They would catch a bullock cart from the railway station, and the bullock cart would bring them to the church. So it was a long drawn-out process. Today, of course, you get on a bus and you're in Whitefield, but not in those days. When you had to come to Whitefield, it was 3 days. And the property was then gifted by the Maharaja for ecumenical worship, in the sense that for any denomination. In 1977, the Anglicans stopped using the church, and it became totally Church of South India. Then in 2008, a few of us revived the Anglican worship. So now, today, we have the Church of South India and the Anglican Church of India both using this church. Rear doors there, that wooden thing. That was built as a memorial, as a commemoration for the 1914-18, the Great War. And these plaques on the wall, these were of various workers of the church, people who did good. I think Winston Churchill came and prayed in this church, if I'm not wrong. When he was a soldier here, he stayed in one of the Waverley Inn, I think. I remember the choir, because there were, people that I used to call auntie and uncle singing in the choir. And sometimes it was funny because they would sort of compete with each other as to who could sing the loudest or who could sing the best. Those used to be small, funny moments, because there was, I don't know if I should name names, but there was a lady, Mrs. Chalk. She had a beautiful voice. And there was Colonel King, who also had but Colonel King, when he sang he could swallow a bus, And we as children used to look at this and giggle and laugh about it, but the singing was fantastic. It was just the way that they compete, and there was Miss Barnes, who was a fantastic alto, and they would keep time. They'd be tapping as to you're not singing in the right thing, and this. It was like a competition for them, as to who could sing the loudest and who could sing the best. And we as children used to sit and laugh about that, and those were good memories. Those were very good memories. It used to be funny because, our parents used to say you must come to church on a Sunday, and invariably there'd be a dance or a function on a Saturday night at the club. And the club used to be a very lively place. Everybody, and the dancers would finish at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning. And we'd sort of roll out of the club, roll into church, have our service and then go home. That is how it was. Today it's, 11 o'clock at night, everything shuts down. But in the old days it was a very different scene. It was fun. This was the old organ. There were two factions in the church at one time. One day, one faction came in and they found the church had been broken into and the organ had disappeared. So they said, where's the organ gone? They went hunting for the organ, and we had a little lake in the inner circle, and the organ had been dumped in the lake. So Miss Barnes' father pulled the organ out, got it refurbished, redid the organ, and then they used it again. 5 seconds your calf muscles are hurting because you're not used to this pedal feature. They were decided they were going to do road widening. So they came one day with a bulldozer, and luckily for us the watchman wouldn't allow them in. So they marked a point on the wall outside. They walked in, they marked a point on this wall, and they marked, when they were going to take 45 feet from the center of the road, which would have taken away our altar completely. We would have had no church, because the minute you knock down one wall, this entire building being mud and brick would be in the ground. So that is still, I think, a point of worry for us, that they will suddenly come and say that no, we need to widen the road and we're going to take your church. Everybody thinks, okay, it doesn't matter, it's an old building, who wants to bother about an old building? They're not looking at the history of the building. You also must remember that we were under the British rule for 200 years. Okay, so there are still people who feel that we don't want to keep anything British. Those buildings were built by them. Knock it down. I would keep it as a reminder, this was a time when we were oppressed or when we were ruled by somebody else. We were not Indian. Now, the same way, the people are talking about obliterating Auschwitz and all these and saying it never happened. The only thing I would like to add is for people to please stand up for what is right. Don't allow anybody to browbeat you and bully you into knocking down or taking away your heritage. Don't allow your government to do that. Don't allow the politician to do that. That is all I can say. And stand up in the fight. There will be people who will join you in fighting to keep Bangalore, to keep our cities, our homes safe, keep our heritage. This is a heritage building. Don't let them knock it down. That is what I'm asking.